There's a lot to talk about on the interior, so let's take a closer look. First, let's talk a little bit about the door. I do like how padded it is. It's pretty thick, so I'm sure that translates to better noise insulation. Of course, as you can imagine, we're not going to get to drive this car here today. So make sure you're subscribed to our channel, because pretty soon we will get to do our full road test, and you don't want to miss our final overview of how this behaves in the real world. But for now, back to the door. Good materials on the top here. Yeah, some materials are a little bit harder like this, but I think overall the quality has a nice perception at least. There's padded materials here and on the armrest, and it might sound silly, but I'm so happy to see 4 window switches and a manual control for the mirror. Such luxury in 2026. Plenty of storage as well. Now if we take a look at the seats, again you have different upholstery options. If you don't want to have leather, you can have a fabric upholstery for the seats in the lower variants, so you do have an option to go more vegan friendly if you like. But clearly that is the big new talking point, so let's jump in. The interior is definitely a big upgrade in my opinion compared to the current version. So I do like this soft wrap material that they have spanning from door to door across the shelf here in the dashboard. It's got a nice matte finish. It's really easy to rest your hand on this when you're operating the infotainment. Speaking of which, a nice big panoramic digital stage with a digital instrument cluster and this 12.8-inch infotainment screen here angled towards the driver, so it's really easy to operate and view this. But your passengers are also well catered to, because you can also get the optional 12-inch passenger display. And actually, I can't really see what's going on right now. So it has a dynamic filter so that the driver is not distracted by your passenger watching Autogefühl on YouTube on long road trips. Plenty of storage facilities as well. A nice damped glove box with a clip for a pen, some coins, a garage remote. So really nice, although it's not felt lined. So a little bit of a hit and miss there. There's also a nice little cubby down here. You have a couple inductive phone charging pads. Nice to see that they're ventilated. You can also choose the drive select mode from this centerpiece here. And the hazard lights are easy to identify. A small touch capacitive circle here for your volume and for your media. This is where you shift the gears, so that hasn't changed. But I also like to see that you have a quick button, a shortcut to jump to the parking cameras. This is always super useful when you're in narrow parking garages. Nice cup holders. I also love that there's these little lights inside, so adds to the ambiance. And finally, a sliding armrest, nice and padded. And inside, there's plenty of storage, really deep, and you have a couple USB-C ports. Let's take a quick look at the new technology here. Couple things to note. There's also ChatGPT, which is included into this, so easier to have voice commands that are more natural, more complex multitask commands that you can now talk to the car. It's also running on Android Automotive. Like we were talking about earlier, you also have some new fun light features. So you can choose the different light signatures on the outside, as you can see here, and that will of course reflect what you see in the signature outside. You also have, of course, a lot of ambient lighting, like you can see down here, that you can change. They have brought back a lot of buttons, but the air conditioning control is still here in a touch menu. The steering wheel is really nice because now, finally, they have brought back physical buttons. Although this whole piece is one unit, but at least it's a tactile button that clicks in. So you can choose, like for example, a shortcut, your steering wheel heating, and it's a nice deep click. It's not a soft touch. You got to really press it in, which I really like. And more importantly, you don't have sliders anymore. You have nice clicking rollers for the volume and here on the menu. Of course, being a digital display, you have different views that you can choose from, standard affair. And once we really get our hands on the car to test it out, we'll see how these different things work. Finally, also what's fun is that they have an augmented reality head-up display But of course, unfortunately, I can't really test that out today, but I'm curious to see how it actually works in practice. Being an EV, there's a lot of space on the interior. The Q4 e-tron was always well regarded for their interior space, and that continues here with this new facelift. So the brake pedal to the back seat, so the interior volume or the interior length, is still very, very good. I'm 5'8", or about 1.7 meters. This is set to roughly my driving position, a little bit more generous in fact, so probably something for somebody almost 5'10". And doesn't matter because you can see how much space I have for my knees. If the seat was a little bit higher, I would have had more space to slide my feet underneath, but still not too bad. Yes, battery pack on the floor, but good. No central transmission tunnel or a hump in this case. And it's not too knees up. I mean, I wouldn't sit like this. I would stretch my legs out a little bit. And then there is decent amount of under thigh support. Panoramic glass roof also brings in good light, and headroom more than adequate. So it's a very comfortable place to be here. Air conditioning controls, power sockets galore, seat heating as well. I'm sure some of these are optional depending on your market. You might need to spec that separately. Isofix points for the outside 2 seats and the passenger seat. So 3 child seats inside. Armrest with a cup holder. And even if you take a quick look at the door here, there's plenty of nice storage here. And even, you can put a lot of items here. So very nice ergonomic design. All right, so let's take a look in the trunk. SUV gets 512 liters of boot space. The Sportback clearly is a little bit larger, so that has 527 liters with the seats up. It's a nice flat loading bay. You have this floor that you can put further down, but it's easy to have these charging cables down here. What's also new and an Audi first is if you look right over here, you see that there is vehicle to load. So yes, there is bi-directional charging now, and you can do vehicle to load or even vehicle to home.